Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Mentoring India webinar series for the webinar we are having for the month of November. Very good afternoon and thank you very much for joining again for the wonderful session. So today's topic is a very interesting and very knowledgeable, as the topic name is Ways of Impactful Mentoring. In our day-to-day life, in professional, personal life also, we many a time knows that somehow the other way we are doing mentoring, somehow the other way we got mentored. But we don't know exactly what are the exact ways of doing mentoring. And beyond that, what will be the exact ways to do the impactful mentoring? So to learn more on that and to focus more on that and gain more knowledge from that, BYST Mentoring India Initiative coming up with a new webinar series for ways of impactful mentoring with one of our senior mentor and experienced mentor from Pune, Mr. Biman Gandhi sir. He is an experienced business coach and management consultant. He is a trainer and as well as he is a motivational speaker. He is working in the industry as a management consultant and joined with the BYST as a mentor. He is handling many different kind of mentees, and also he is a part of our various activities conducted in BYST Pune office. So not wasting much of time, I'll take a leave and will give and hand over it to Mr. Biman Gandhi sir. Mr. Biman Gandhi sir, very good afternoon and over to you, and happy learning to you sir. Thanks.
And willing to spare your time with us on this topic called Ways of Impactful Mentoring. Like Mohanis just introduced me, I'll just continue with my introduction a little bit further. I have about 22 years of experience of working with large Indian companies and some of the multinationals. And as it happens with everybody, who continues on their career path, they start small and then slowly they rise up the ladder, and then eventually they handle certain portfolios, they become manager, and there can be some different titles, but when you start your journey from managerial position and onwards, basically people start looking at you as a leader, a person who is leading a flock of colleagues, people who are junior to him, not always necessary, but generally speaking, and people look up to them. So when you are a leader and you are into a leadership role for quite some time, you start wondering yourself that what's my next destination? Okay, maybe in terms of titles in an organization or wherever you are, you might be growing, you might be scaling new peaks. But from leadership, what is the next stop? And one of the things that stuck to me, which I would like to share with you, is that after leadership, I think, comes the mentorship. So it is a natural transition from being leader to mentor. So what do typically the leaders do? So let's look at that. So typically we are told that leaders are there to inspire actions. Of course, this is not a limited function. You inspire actions as a leader, but what do really mentors do? Like I said, leaders are there to inspire actions, but mentors are somebody who inspire a life. And if you look at the difference between inspiring action to inspire a life, I think it's a hell lot of a difference, because you are talking about a human life. Here you are talking about somebody's personal aspiration and their yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for this disturbance. So here you are, talking about inspiring somebody's life. You are talking about making a difference in somebody's life. Now, mentoring, as we know, there are multiple things that mentors can do with their respective mentees. And like Mohanis also introduced in his earlier speech, that at one point of time or at several points of time of your life, you get mentored by somebody. I'm sure each one of us who are part of this webinar have at least one mentor in their life. The person who is either motivating, it could be somebody from your family, it could be somebody from your circle of influence, or a group of friends, or there is somebody who is giving you right advices at right point of time. And then there are people who are directing you. There are people who are coaching you, who are telling you what to do, what not to do. There are people who are providing you moral support. If you look at all of that, this is typically what mentors do. So while choosing the topic of the discussion today, mentoring impact or ways of impactful mentoring, I thought let me try to look for some data if it is available. And fortunately, on one of the site called mentoring.org, I found this survey. So how mentoring impacts people or the mentees? There are 55% of the mentees who have reported that through their mentoring exercise, they have picked up completely a new skill. Now, this could be a personal skill, or this could be a professional skill. But 55% of people have reported that because of mentoring, what impact it has made is they have picked up a new skill. And we all know the importance of the skills, competencies, and certain other things that makes us successful. There are 78% of people who have reported and agreed that they have developed more human-centric organization. So it is not necessary that they have built their own organization, but probably their way and the approach of looking at people has definitely changed, and that has happened purely because of mentoring. 90% of the people have said that the mentors have impacted, and they have started showing interest in becoming the mentor because they have realized the importance of being mentored and what it takes to be a mentor. In BYST, the platform through which I am talking right now, there are a number of cases where people have come as an entrepreneur and they look for some sort of assistance from BYST. They got attached to one of the mentors, and many of them are now converted into a high flyer. So it means that they have stabilized their business, they are really doing well, and they have started coming to BYST as a mentor, and they are hand-holding people and entrepreneurs to take them to a next level. And these 98% of the people have reported that they are likely to hold higher leadership role. So this is the impact that mentoring does to a mentee. So let's look at what are the different impact zones, which is actually the central theme of our discussion today. So I have divided them into 4 different zones. One of them is setting the tone. So when you start, mentoring somebody, there are things which are required to be taken care of at the beginning phase itself. And that zone I'm calling that as a setting the tone. The next zone is preparing the condition. Once the selection of mentee is done and you have agreed, and we are going to dissect and look at little bit more into detail of each of these zones. So once the mentee is selected and you set the tone, I think it's time for preparing the conditions for mentee to be successful and to ensure that mentee grows. The next zone is anchoring. So that is a stage where the mentee has got a good amount of support, not just through mentoring, but through other circumstances and through his own talent and skills. He has basically, set up either his career. And here we are not only talking about entrepreneurs, because I know in the audience, there are people who are still working as professionals, and those professionals who are at a certain position, higher position, and have years of experience, definitely this is also applicable to them. So the people who have found some groove in their career, I think it is the time when you need to really monitor and direct them well. And that stage or that zone, I term that as an anchoring zone. The next zone is maximizing. Now, this is about taking mentee altogether to a different level. So it is not only about, again, the business. It could also be in case of, some of the people who are still an employee or still in an active career.